Hello, nice to see you. This is another video of me manly talking, so if you hate my voice, sorry. So the Super Bowl is this weekend. By the time this is uploaded, it will have already happened. And although it is the championship game of the National Football League, many people just like it because of the good commercials and the Super Bowl halftime show. Now, as many of you probably know, I had the really cool opportunity to perform in Justin Timberlake's halftime show last year. And so I thought it might be cool for me to talk about what that experience was like. So all this happened last year during my senior year at the University of Minnesota. We had known for a while that the Super Bowl was coming to Minneapolis to be played at the brand new, beautiful US Bank Stadium. When they announced that Justin Timberlake was going to be the halftime show artist, some members of the marching band sort of collectively decided that, why don't we shoot our shot? I've always been a huge Justin Timberlake fan. He's the only person on the planet that's better looking and more talented than I am. Yep. So I was all for it, and I tried to do my part to try and get Justin's attention and see if he'd like to work with us. A number of pieces of content came out from the marching band's social media channels, none more buzzworthy than this video that I made with a couple of my friends. You must understand that this is going to be one of the biggest performances of your entire career. And I can only imagine that you want it to be the epitome of greatness. We can help you get there, Justin. We know what greatness is.
That was so close.
Oh. Wow, that was not. Not even close.
Man, that was really close.
So did, Justin Timberlake actually see that? I don't know. I'd like to think so. But anyways, the hype sort of eventually died down after a while. We didn't really hear anything, and we figured, it was a fun thought, but it probably wasn't gonna happen. Fast forward to the end of the marching band season, we're having our end of year banquet, and our director, Professor Betsy McCann, is giving her end of season speech. First female marching band director in the Big Ten, by the way. She's awesome. Suddenly, she asks everybody to take out their phones and put them in the middle of their tables, face down. And so I was thinking that this was gonna be some sort of spiel about how we're all too connected to our phones and how we should enjoy the banquet having face-to-face, real conversations with each other, yada yada, something like that. But it turns out she was making us do that because she didn't want anybody to be able to text anybody or call anybody or post on social media, because a few minutes into her speech, Justin Timberlake's face was projected onto the screen behind her, and we all knew what that meant.
Don't let anything be whispered.
But we had to keep it all a big secret. And it wasn't for another couple of months until we actually learned more about what our involvement in the show would entail. They wanted us to be a part of the song Suit and Tie. Two members of Justin Timberlake's band, the Tennessee Kids, made a special arrangement of the song, and the drum parts were comically easy and a little boring. Like, it made sense within the context of everything else that was going on, and it grooved, but Could have been cooler. Here's what it sounded like. We had one rehearsal for the music, and then we did a recording session. The secret's out, we pre-recorded our parts, and we only pretended to play during the actual show. Wow. That might sound really, that hurt. Not Justin and the Tennessee Kids, they were actually performing, we were not. That might sound really lame and like we're cheating, but if you really think about it, it would make absolutely no sense for a band of our size to try to play live with Justin and his band. With how far everybody was spread, phasing and disconnect would have been inevitable, and it would have been really, really difficult for them to mic us and get the balance right. But it was clear that it was important to them that they had our real, authentic sound in the performance, which I thought was cool. We didn't actually begin staging the production until 2 weeks before the big day. Justin and his band and his dancers had been rehearsing for a while already, but we didn't actually start putting it together until 2 weeks before the Super Bowl. So it was a pretty short time period, but within those 2 weeks, it was jam-packed. We were having secret rehearsals for 8 hours a day from 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. And we were all college students with class and homework. Luckily for me, I was only taking 10 credits at the time because I was a senior and I didn't need that many more until I could graduate. Not everybody was that lucky. Some people had a hard time with having to miss class that much and giving up 8 hours of time that they could have been studying. Security was really tight too. Every time we stepped into the stadium to rehearse, we had to go through a security checkpoint and we were not allowed to bring any electronics in whatsoever. People couldn't even bring in their laptops to do homework during our downtime because they were that serious about not letting any details about the show leak out into the public. And if they caught you with your phone out, you were out. You were kicked out of the show, no ifs, ands, or buts. The rehearsals themselves were pretty boring most of the time. It was just a slow process because there were so many people involved. There were hundreds of us band members, hundreds of dancers, and even more crew members just to move stage pieces and equipment on and off the field. It was a lot to orchestrate, and the producers of the show did a really good job of making it all happen. But yeah, it was pretty boring sometimes. But there were a few moments during the rehearsals that really stuck with me. The first is when Justin actually showed up for the first time. What was cool is he wasn't afraid to just jump right in with us. One of the first things he did was work on his staging and choreography for the beginning of Suit and Tie. We began with some choreographed adjusting of our suits and ties, which I came up with, by the way. And part of it was running our hands through our hair like this, you know, all cool like. And he saw that and he was like, oh, you guys got choreography, I like that. And he started doing the hair thing too. And then there was one rep where he turned around suddenly and jokingly said, oh, you missed a spot. And then he brushed me on the shoulder, like this, right here. Yeah, still smells like him. And during the last couple of days of rehearsal, we were basically just doing full runs at that point, practicing getting on the field, doing the show, getting off the field, making the whole thing fail-proof, basically. And every time we did it, it was just like our own private Justin Timberlake concert. It was just super cool. The dude is so talented and fun to watch. So then the big day rolls around. We don't actually arrive at the stadium until after the first quarter begins because that was the only way it would logistically work. The inner workings of the stadium can only hold so many people at one time. We had to wait inside the switchbacks of the stadium for the entire first half, which is just like this big ramp that goes down all the way to where we were going to enter onto the field. Thankfully, there were some TVs on the walls in there so we could actually watch the game. And as the second quarter slowly came to a close, you could just sort of feel the buzz in the air and the gravity of what we were about to do was finally starting to set in. It was a different kind of feeling that I had never felt before. In drum corps and in Winter Drumline, there's a lot of pressure at shows because there are a lot of people there and you have put so much time and energy and effort into your performance and you don't want to blow it. This was different because what we were doing was very simple and very short, but it's the Super Bowl halftime show and millions of people were watching. I truthfully wasn't that nervous though. I was just really thankful for the opportunity and excited for all my friends that had no idea this was happening to see my face on TV. Thus began the fastest 15 minutes of my life. You know, we had rehearsed it so many times that I was able to sort of just rely on muscle memory and enjoy the moments. We do our little choreography, we fold in, we do our part, then we march out the field. I know where the cameras are, so I flash a smile. I couldn't help it. And then I messed up. I accidentally ghosted a note account before we were supposed to start playing. And of course the camera caught it. It like doesn't even matter and nobody even noticed, but I suck. Justin, if you're watching this, and I know you are because we're bros, I'm sorry I messed up in your halftime show. You know, if we do it again sometime, I promise you I'll be mistake free. When we returned to the U of M campus after the gig, I turned on my phone and saw that it had blown up. Tons and tons of messages from people saying they saw me and were so surprised and happy for me. I really felt the love and it meant a lot. The whole ordeal was just an unforgettable, cool experience that I'm still bragging about a year later and will continue to brag about for years to come. I'm just so thankful for the opportunity to have done that. But I'm more thankful that I didn't become a meme like that selfie kid. I'm looking at the comments on the video of the performance right now, and people are mean. Like, I obviously thought the show was great, and you know, if you thought the show was kind of boring or whatever, like, that's fine. Just, there's no need to be that mean. You know what? I'm gonna help out my boy Justin and redirect some of that negativity so it comes at me instead. It's like all of those movie scenes in every movie ever where somebody jumps in front of the path of a bullet in order to save somebody else. That's what I'm doing. Okay, here we go. Can you believe that Asian drummer kid almost played a note early? He must be an idiot poopy face. Bad. All right, now everybody go find that comment, give it a thumbs up, and reply to it in agreement that I must be an idiot poopy face. And then hopefully, you know, more people will join in and start bashing me instead of Justin. I gotta stand up for my homies, you know? Okay, see you guys later.